Good morning, everyone. There are a lot of people out there right now trying to make political hay of Charlie Kirk's assassination and trying to draw some wild comparison that, his thoughts on the Second Amendment kind of make it okay. Hey, the irony, right? Trying to make fun of this terrible situation. So rather than insult, degrade, or berate anyone, I'm going to educate you. So we live in an age where I think all of us can agree, whether we're Republican, Democrat, liberal, conservative, whatever, that there are times the police can be out of hand and that government is not eminently trustworthy. Whether it's Biden in office, whether it's Trump in office, we all have a reason to agree that we can't always tacitly trust the government. We've seen that over and over. So the Second Amendment is there as your final check on power against a government, its officers or agencies that may harm you. That includes the police. That includes the military. It is your final check. It's why you have power. It's why we didn't have concentration camps in the United States during the height of COVID. It's why we have peaceful transfers of power. It's how the truth about the vaccines get out, because ultimately our government could not stop Elon Musk from purchasing Twitter and helping to share the truth. The Second Amendment protects the First Amendment. Now, these mass shootings we see are terrible, but infringing your Second Amendment right is not the only way to solve them. It just isn't. And so we have to be willing to discuss other alternatives. And while people are not, that means we have to sometimes make harsh statements that, yes, defense of the Second Amendment means sometimes unfortunate things are going to happen. Just like defense of the First Amendment means you have to listen to people who disagree with you vehemently, and you can't stop them from saying what they say. Even Congress people who you see as being out of pocket, and people on the right will see them as being unpatriotic. Defending the First Amendment means you still let them speak. And the same is true of the Second Amendment. Sometimes terrible things are going to happen. You cannot give away your final check on authority being used against you to abuse your rights and endanger your safety over those incidents, especially when there are other remedies we can discuss, like hardening security, like having local security officers who can respond quickly, who can engage in lockdowns of these soft targets. We also have to discuss honestly the rash of leftist political violence that's been happening in this country. We can't just always, pinpoint down to what we consider, things that are based on right-wing ideology or white supremacy or whatever, when those honestly are nowhere near as prevalent as the left-wing violence we're seeing. So we have to have these honest conversations. And Charlie, especially if you understand the reality that you cannot tacitly trust the government and you cannot tacitly trust the police, Charlie was fighting for you to be able to protect yourself. And so it's really sad that some of you are taking the stance you are when Charlie was out there trying to bring back civic debate, not always shouting people down, not always hurling insults. And yes, his stance on the Second Amendment was so that you could protect yourself from those who may harm you, even if it's the police, even if it's Trump. Because you're not going to Twitter protest Trump out of office if he does do something stupid like go for a third term. And you're like, oh, Trump's a dictator. And you're not going to protest him out of office on social media. Your Second Amendment right is what guarantees those kind of things can't happen. So I want everyone to take a minute to think about what he actually stood for, the things he actually said, the things he was actually doing, and the fact that he was a human being. I know someone who went to high school with him. He had a wife and 2 young children. And this is not the approach we should be taking when we see this kind of political violence rising up in the United States of America. We should all be united against it, especially today is September 11th. We should be uniting against that kind of political violence and not using it to score ridiculous political points and get some cheap likes on social media. So just think a little deeper, think a little harder about a human being who left behind a family and actually was on your side.